Okay, welcome back to Love Tyrant Anime Review Part 2. This one I'm discussing episodes 5 through 8. And like with the first 4 episodes, this one adapts also 11 chapters. Though it's not like 11 out of 13. It's like 12 it's actually one chapter less. This one basically, these episodes are from chapter 14 to 22. Actually, it's like 9 chapters. Yes, the way it goes is basically conception-wise, 5 adapts 14, 15, 6 is 16, 17, 7 adapts 3 chapters, first time since episode 2 they've done that, 18 and 20, and 8 chapters 21 and 22. Yep, there's like several different things going on in these ones. Like, first off, episode 5 is just a continuation of what happened with episode number 4, where it basically picks up where Zumi basically treat Sanji until Akane shows up, busts into a wall, and I'm like, wouldn't that hurt you? And then she somehow is easily overtaken by her, gets her strung up, and then she takes her one of her knives, she apparently is built to steal, and she proceeds to cut open the front of her shirt. Yes. Oh, in case you're wondering, did this happen in the manga? Yes, it did. And then Yuzune show up, try to get her to stop, and then we have Guri show up, where she basically is wearing a shrimp costume. Then she realizes what's going on, and she's able to, persuade her not to do it. And then she's able to, then before she get any further, she gets a phone call. It's Akane's mom. Since Akane's available, she has to take care of whatever Akane is supposed to do. So, she has, to be continued later. Then she leaves. Walks away perfectly scot-free. Nothing much happened there. In the manga, this is actually a change from the manga. Where in the manga, she got herself handcuffed with very Dominatrix style handcuffs and blindfolded with a key in her mouth. Yep, that's what happened to her. That she's taking up her own men. Next time she's seen is in the very next episode. And then basically, they're freed. And Sanji, of course, is very happy to see Sanji is fine. Despite being stabbed multiple times by Tsuzune. Then apparently he dies. Don't worry, he doesn't stay there very long. And he goes to heaven where he meets Guri's father. Yep. Also, Tamaria basically shows up again. And she's there just to keep an eye on him. And she was mentioning she got hooked up with somebody. I highly doubt it's her best friend's father. I highly doubt that. So basically he's there just to meet him and ask him to teach his daughter about love. It was an interesting meeting. You also have a devil show up. Yes, a devil who looks suspiciously like the gourmet ghoul from Tokyo Ghoul. I mean, this guy looks almost exactly like... Actually, no. He has similar style of talking, but his eyes are very similar to a ghoul's eyes. Yes. I would say face-wise, he reminds me of the mask maker from Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know if this guy was based upon the character. I have no idea, but very similar. Tries to tempt him. Also, he's seen cupping his face. So he's able to, after a while, of course, the girls basically try to wake him up by kissing him. First Akane, then Giru. And of course, Giru was being chased around by Akane, getting stabbed by her, and of course, Yuzo tries to do it, and of course, he wakes up and hits her in the head. Of course, she apologizes for it. Of course, he's perfectly fine. And then they added this really cool bit in the very next episode where Sanji's asks her Akane, you got any plans for summer? He's like, I'm busy with my club. He says, how would you like to go to the beach? Sure! And of course, the girls all gotta go to the beach. Yep. And of course, you have Guru sitting next to Sanji to his left. To his right, it's Akane. To the next Akane is Yuzo. And then they go to the beach. Sanji, of course, is wearing a regular, typical guy swimsuit. Now, Akane is wearing sort of very revealing swimsuit, where she basically just, wearing like a white bikini with a sort of like fluffy top. And Yuzo was wearing a red one-piece swimsuit. Now, what about Aqua? She looked like she's wearing basically stuff you would see from a athletic style of girl, where she looked like she's wearing shorts. And it kind of looks very similar to something you see on track team. As for Giru, first she's wearing her Shinigami outfit until she's hit in the face by a volleyball, where she transforms her outfit. Of course, it looked like she transformed into her angel attire. Nope, it's a school uniform One Piece swimsuit with her name on it. And then her and Akane decide to play some volleyball. Also, this beach has got some lesbians on it. Also, the gay couple who she hooked up previously. Yeah, they're here at the beach too, and the chubby guy's in a bikini. Not bikini, a Speedo. Okay? It's brief, though his boyfriend is basically putting on tan lotion. Look at this particular moment is so brief because I think some male viewers might find this a bit uncomfortable. So, and then when Aqua, somewhere in the ocean, of course, using it, look like she can't swim. Akane, of course, is basically clinging on to, well, Sanji. Of course, Aqua, of course, is confronted by the Penguin Demon again. Yep, confronted by him again. Where she has basically kind of slicing her clothes, but not basically the point where she'll be completely naked. Oh no. Of course, she's saved by Akane, who basically takes her to shore. And, well, sees that, of course, she gives her a towel to cover up. And then she ends up fighting the Penguin Demon. And openly proclaiming that she's going to be her future sister-in-law because she loves her brother. Well, Akane loves Aqua's brother. Of course, what's Sanji doing all this? Well, he goes to get some food. Runs to Zune again. Of course, she apologized for what happened before. She tried to seduce him. Would take off her top. Doesn't work. Oh, in case you're wondering, is she showing off her chest to him? No, she's wearing an actual, one strapless bra in order to seduce him. Doesn't work. She tries to also explain the families of Akane and Yuzo. This is basically loosely stuff what happens in the very next 2 episodes. Then, of course, they're basically talking while Akane is fighting against the Penguin Demon, which she's able to beat despite being pretty wounded. And, of course, Akane does give her a hug for saving her. Aqua does give Akane a hug for saving her life. And, of course, Akane ends up sitting next to, well, Sanji on the way home from the beach when they were on the train. Yeah, and they actually added a little thing here where Giru, who actually helped Akane fend off against the Penguin Demon, is seen sleeping. Yeah, that's actually not in the manga. That's complete anime original. That's perfectly fine. And then in the very same episode, then we have basically where they go to a haunted house. Yep, they go to a haunted house in the very same episode. Yep. And it's basically, Akane is not here, by the way. So, they go off and they basically do some exploring. Of course, you have Giru dressed up like a Ghostbuster with her symbol on her arm instead of the Ghostbuster symbol, and have a vacuum cleaner on her back instead of basically a proton pack. It's a fun Ghostbusters episode, and everybody's getting spooked by all the ghosts. You have Akane and Giru getting separated and taken to the roof. They have a good conversation, basically. And of course, Akane obviously asking Giru, does she really love Sanji? She says she just doesn't know yet. And then they're confronted by the ghosts, which off screen they manage to beat up. Though when they get to the rooftop, Yuzo basically gets, she hurts her ankle. Though, lucky enough that Sanji basically is being a good gentleman, they basically carry the rest of the way up. Give her a piggyback ride, though she doesn't like it at first. And then, of course, Akane sees this and she gets her knife out and starts to stab Sanji. Though it does basically get her to think about something, and she kind of continues a plot thread into the very next episode. Yes, and the thing with episode 7, this one adapts 3 chapters. Not 2, like the previous episodes were. No. Yeah, so with episode 4, they were adapting 2 chapters. And then with episode 7, they're back to 3. Though with 8, they're back to 2 again. There are kind of 3 big things going on this episode. Like, you have Giru wanting to go to the beach. Not beach, she wanted to go to a festival that very evening. Of course, when they're shopping, of course, he says no because he's off, because he basically took Akane and Yuzo to the aquarium. Giru doesn't like it. She goes to the bookstore by herself and she looks for some manga, very obscure manga. Never heard of this thing. And she finds some guy who looks suspiciously like Sanji, and of course he's with him basically all day. It's like a dating wise thing. And they go to the festival. Of course, she transforms her outfit, makes things up, by disappear. Presumably go back to Sanji's house. Of course, also I should point out though that very day she decided to wake him up by kissing him again. Yep. Yeah. Then of course, then when they get to the festival, of course, Sanji, of course, goes to the festival with Akane and Yuzo. Of course, she thinks that Guru and by herself doesn't know anything about the other guy. It turns out he was actually planned by the devil to interfere. And after this one fail attempt, is like, I'm not going to interfere anymore. The cat simply just don't interfere again. It's like, that's fine. I have no plan to do any more of that. And that's the last see of him. Though, as far as I can tell, I don't think he does very much after that. No, not that I can think of. Then, of course, Giru, when she reunites with Sanji, she proceeds to make out with him. Of course, Sanji, of course, gets stabbed for it. Yep, I thought that was kind of funny. And then we have some stuff setting up directly for the very next episode, where Akane's mother finds out she's got a boyfriend, and she's not very happy with it. Because apparently, according to their family, giving your heart to somebody is frowned upon. Though there is a reason for that. It's utter stupidity. Yep. And she's been held captive in her own house. Though, they do say that apparently while Sanji's in the park, he is attacked, by some random assassins. Of course, he talked to Giru first, then he talked by random assassins. He ends up shooting him, though he's still alive, because he's immortal. After, taking out some of them, of course, Aqua takes out some of the rest of them. Shizune, who had previously been informed by Akane's mother. I should point out Akane's mother is voiced by Colleen Clickenbeard. Yes, Colleen Clickenbeard voices the mother of a character who's also redhead like she is. Yeah, which makes this the second character I can think of Colleen Clickenbeard's voice who was a redhead. I can't think of anybody else aside from Urza Scarlet and this woman who's a redhead, because all the other characters she's voiced tend to be blondes or brunettes that I can think of. But this is the first time I can think of where it's, first time in a while since Fairy Tail where it's a redhead. Yep. And she's been held captive her house throughout this episode, the following one. And of course, Shizune informs, Sanji about what's going on. Guru goes out to see Yuzo, goes to the mansion first. Though, at the end of episode 7, we have Yuzo being convinced, I should go rescue Akane. So, they get there. Though, Guru and Yuzo basically are there for... And... Let's see. Of course, Guru used her kiss note to make some of the guards fall in love with each other, which doesn't really affect the guards that much. Then they're able to confront Akane, though Guru's doing the whole thing of opening doors, which is a common thing for Japanese mansions. They got these long, big doors. Eventually, they do find him, but they find Akane. Then she cuts Yuzo's face. Then, of course, they have their fight. They take a fight outside. And then, of course, Sanji gets over the wall by Shizune. And, of course, he does the usual thing of stabbing him. And then, of course, Akane is offered to... first she's informed that about the whole... little more relationship. Of course, she proceeds to slap her because she doesn't like this development. So, basically, after cutting him, she wants him to... Akane's mom wants Akane to kill Sanji. Of course, she says no. And then all of a sudden, Yuzo's mom shows up, and we have a bit of anime original stuff here, where they get into a brief argument, and they fight. They tear apart of the house with their big, humongous magic brawl, and it turns out the reason why that Akane's mom doesn't like giving her heart to another person, because Yuzo's mom and Akane's mom were in love with the same guy, and yet... this one guy gave both these two women beautiful daughters. Yep, and also Yuzo's mom kind of figures out, though, it's implied she's kind of figured out that because Yuzo's trying to explain, Gyura's trying to explain it, that Yuzo not only loves Akane, but also she loves Sanji. Of course, she hasn't fully revealed it before she's cut off. Though she basically talked about the whole thing. Oh yeah, she's overflowing with love. And of course, she gets stabbed in the freaking head by a katana. Because of course, she's a mortal. She can't really feel it very much. She's been hit in the head so many times with blades. She's like, this is nothing. And of course, Yuzo's like mother, like daughter. I thought it was so funny. And of course, well, she basically doesn't forgive Akane for falling in love with him, but she has no problem with it at all. She basically says, do what you want. And of course, she deems Sanji irrelevant, despite the fact this guy is dating her daughter. Yep. They do cut out the bit, basically, where Aqua, who was last seen in the episode beating a bunch of guards, she is not seen in the episode, well, not what I saw anyways, where she's, oh, it's over? Okay. And that's it. Good set episodes. Can't wait to discuss episodes 9 through 12. Though, interesting thing with 12, from what I heard, it's an original episode. So, basically, episodes 9 through 11 are the last canon episodes of the series, while 12 is anime original. Which is going to be interesting, to say the least. Yep, so that's it for this particular review. My next review is going to be a review of One Punch Man, though the chapter is kind of a two-parter, because they split it up for some reason. I have no idea why, but they did. It's kind of weird of how they did it for this chapter. Not the first time they did it, but first time in a while they've done it, okay? See you next video. Bye.